Chin, what's up, man?
Is it still super feedbacky?
Yeah, it's really weird. When I
do?
call you, I can hear you perfect. But when you call me, it's like echoing like 5 times.
Still, right now?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
So what's going on? I'll just work through it.
You don't have to work through it. It's fine. I was trying to catch you unexpected.
What
do you got, 10 minutes or 5 minutes? Or
I got 10 minutes. Hit me up.
Oh, nothing. I'm just recording shit for my thing that I'm doing with that app, and I wanted to catch you unexpectedly and ask you a bunch of questions you don't want to answer.
Okay, hit me. It stopped echoing.
It stopped?
Yeah, it stopped.
Sweet. No, it's only because I'm trying to like pinpoint the dudes that I respect in the industry, and obviously you're one of them because you built a badass business. So I want to ask you personal questions about your business and have you answer them so I can get them on record.
Yeah, absolutely. Hit me.
I mean, basically, the things I want to know: how long you've been in business, like high-level gross sales, how many employees you have, and basically how you got there. Like, how do you do what you do? Because you're pretty badass at what you do. You're great at customer service, and I just want to know like what the secret sauce is.
So we've been in business going on 18 years. I'd say the secret sauce is it's always, picking up the phone, being there when you say you're going to be there. Obviously it's always going to be, the customer service end of it. So doing what they're going to ask you to, even if you don't make money because you signed the contract. Sales, we're a subcontractor. We do, anywhere from $5 to $7 million a year. It all depends, on the year.
And that's then, with how many employees?
So I generally run about anywhere from 17 to 24 employees. It depends on the time of the year, but I would say consistently, I'd say the last 5 years has been about 26 employees.
And when you started 18 years ago, was it just you, or was it you and a helper? Or were you doing service, or what was your deal?
So in the beginning, we started in 2008. So I was pretty much a slave to the system. I was doing pretty much anything they would throw at me, whether it was electrical, doing fixing lights on old beat up used car sales lots, low voltage and landscape lighting. But yeah, it was me. And then maybe a couple months in, I hired a guy and, slowly but surely bought another van, put a guy in that van, kept the guy with myself, and I worked in the trenches pretty much till the end.
You were out there. You were out there at the beginning wiring yourself.
Oh yeah. And even now I do the high level emergency calls and, put out fires, that kind of stuff. Sorry, I'm in a restaurant right now. That's kind of loud.
Oh, no worries. So in the beginning, when you were doing a lot of stuff yourself, how were you getting work? Was it contractors you knew? Was it advertising? Like, what were you doing?
I've never advertised. So my main thing is it's always going to be word of mouth.
How'd you get like the initial work though when no one knew you?
So I knew a lot of contractors through the field, and they always told me, "Hey, we really like your style. We really like your personality, personable. If you ever do your own thing, let me know." And they were always asking me to do side jobs. So I was just like, "Nah, I'm good right now." And then once I got my license, they're like, "Hey, do this, do that." And next thing I know, we moved out of the area, and it's just contacts, but never advertised, never did advertisement. So my main thing is never advertise and never get a loan, because when you advertise, you're going to get the people you don't want. And for me at least, when it's word of mouth, it's somebody generally that you want to do work for. And if you do good work, they're going to refer you, and you're just going to get repeat business. But now in our business, we really love that multi-dwelling, because it never ends. Like during COVID, we were slammed with multi-dwelling and Costco work. So it's like, I really don't want to do advertisement, because then we're going to get homeowners and crummy contractors. And I'd rather just go for that really big fish.
But I want to get back to this no loan thing too. But when we first met, you were just doing residential primarily. What was it like? What was the tipping point, or how did you get into the multi-unit stuff? I mean, that doesn't just happen. You don't go from doing one house to like 100 units. Something happened.
Yeah. So we were doing residential, and then there's smaller companies that have, let's say, privately owned, that have 10 apartment complexes. And we got in with them, whether it was servicing a light, resetting a GFI, or changing their main electrical panels, sub panels, or exterior lighting. And once we got into that, it just kind of opened up a can of worms, and we went for the bigger guys. And that's where we were like, oh yeah, you can be there for 5 minutes and do a 3-hour minimum service call. Or if they call you an emergency, then it's, double time or triple time, depending on what time of the day it is.
Dude, so that's kind of interesting. So like the first time, so you're saying like them calling you out for a service call that might not have been much to you and almost could have been something that you were like, fuck this, I don't want to do it, led to like 6-figure easy contracts just because you were willing to go out there and do those little things?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So they like, even more so than like big contracts like Costco, they are all about, you being there. They don't care so much about the cost if it's an emergency call. But then we're also bidding against competitors that, have, 500 to 600 employees, where we only have, 24 to 26 now. So our overhead's low enough that we can get that price point above what we need it to be. And we're still lower than the competitors.
And a lot of the big profit guys, margins are still sweet.
Yeah, they're so good.
That's crazy. What about this no loan thing? Like, to what extent do you follow that rule?
So I follow it for all vehicles, all toys, all equipment, everything except our commercial building.
So if you're going to buy a new truck or you're going to buy a new van, you're going to pay cash. No 100%. Exception.
100%.
What is that rooted in? Is that rooted in a bad experience, or did someone tell you that?
Yeah, it was rooted when I was 18. I was actually more like 19 or 20, and I bought a truck, and they just destroyed me on the interest rate. And ever since then, I'm like, no, my number one thing is going to be, do not buy anything. And, obviously I had to buy houses and properties with a loan, but I thought any toy, anything I want, any watch I want, any work vehicle we buy, any scissor lift, forklift, dump trailer, I said, if we can't afford it at that time, then we just have to save to get it, because I'm not going to pay interest on that shit.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And then what about in growing the business? I mean, obviously referral work and you're getting busier and busier. How do you like focus on reinvesting in your business? What is it you do specifically to keep growing and make sure you can take care of the projects that do come in?
So that's another thing. Like, we never got a line of credit. We've never done any of that. I always am very, very cautious when it comes to that, because I don't want to grow too much to where I have to get a loan. And I feel like have a necessary pressure of paying something. So, I've always invested in the company, such as like trying to pay off the commercial building, or, not having vehicle payments, any of that. So, and the main thing is investing in my top guys to feel, so that they feel like they can't go anywhere else, and they're a bigger part of the company than, going somewhere else. And that's the big thing.
Is that like, how do you invest in the top guys? Is it just paying them better, or giving them like the trucks, the tools,
paying them much better, giving them, way more leeway, way more paid time off, paid vacations, 2 bonuses a year, paying for whether full benefits, just kind of keeping the top dogs in their head in the game, so that they feel like they have the power. Also, they have the power to fire guys, so they don't even have to ask me. They come up to me.
You'll stand behind that wholeheartedly?
100%.
Wow.
Yeah.
What about the new guys coming up? Are you having problems finding new guys, or like, do you have a specific program, or what's your?
We do. We go through the either CCOC or internal schools, and they send guys our way. But our best strategy has just been, trying guys out for 2 days, and I tell them straight up, hey, if you work, great. If there's any issues, if we see anything, then you're going to be terminated in 2 days. And so, like, we when I look at my payroll and I'm like, how many people have we had on payroll? It's hundreds, because I would just bring a guy in for a day, 2 days, a week, and then we just let them go. We're like, well, sorry, it's not working out. And we make sure we have them sign that contract when they come in, saying that everybody's in a trial period, and that way they know it's just a trial period in the beginning.
Yeah, you can tell easily within that time frame whether.
Yeah, exactly. You'll know within 2 days, and if you don't, you're an idiot. So,
so just quick on your backstory. Did you go to school for electrical? Did you just start in the trades and you learned as an apprentice, or how did you? How long did you work before you got your license and started doing your thing?
So I started working freshman year in the summers for my uncle. Then
freshman of high school?
Yeah, freshman of high school.
Nice.
So once I was doing that, and then it got to the point where I knew enough, so he was having me work every weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Any time off, whether it was vacation, whether it was Easter vacation or Christmas vacation, I was working. Because as soon as I saw that dollar and what it could give me, I was like, dude, this is awesome. So I was the only kid in high school with a yellow Mustang convertible, being able to buy what I want, have a cell phone.
Well, yeah, because what's your uncle giving you? Probably like 15 cash in high school, and you're balling.
Yeah, exactly. He was paying me on the books, but I was, $15 an hour. Then, I was able to trim out a house by myself. So then it was like $28 an hour.
Dude, that's huge money back then.
Oh yeah. And then once I, graduated, I'm like, I'm doing this. And then I loved it so much. I was doing side jobs. Then I'm like, I saw what other contractors had in their garage and the houses they had. So I'm like, I'm secretly going to get my license. So I got my license at 22, which at that time was the youngest electrical contractor in California. When I passed, they told me that. I'm like, hell yeah. So then I was just like, people started asking right away, and it got to the point where side jobs were getting in the way. And I just, at that point, I had already quit from my uncle. I was working for another company, but I just told him, I gotta go. Yeah.
So you got your license in at 22. So then you had made $100,000 plus before you were 25 a year, easy.
Yeah, the first year was really tough because It was 2007, 2008. So first year, I want to say I made, after doing taxes and everything, maybe $78,000 that year. There may have been some cash in between, but on the books, it was about 78. It was a tough year. So I would have said it was probably, 30 to 40 in cash. But yeah, around 100. And then the following year, it slowly went up. It wasn't until, the last 10 years where, it was substantially better.
Dude, and that's such a key point. Because, most dudes I talk to are they hit a point where they grind it out. Not like they're starving, but they're making good money. But then it kind of all comes together, and then they start to really take off and go to the exponentially to the moon. So how many years in was that where you hit stride and you were like, okay, I can maintain, if not grow this?
So 2008 was tough. I had a foreclosure in 2008, so that was just kind of running under the books, in the way that I wasn't totally trying to kill it, but we were saving up to buy a house. So I was, I would say about 4 years in is when I really started to get my stride, get good contracts instead of the trash ones. And it was, substantially better. And from that fourth year going on, it was about, $100,000, $200,000 increase every year.
Dude, that's awesome. And you just knew those 4 years.
When I say those numbers, I mean growth.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then eventually, but doing those trash jobs those first 4 or 5 years, did you have the goal of did you have an idea? This is the exact type of job I want to get in the future, or were you just I'm going to grind it out and I know I'm going upwards?
Yeah, I never thought about the future. I always thought okay, I'm going to get this one done as quick as possible and get the next one. Because there was so much. It was just keep rocking and rolling.
So 18 years later, do you still do it that way?
I do. I love it. But I now I have an end goal in sight. Now I'm like, okay, I'm going, I'm building my dream house right now. I'm, racing, flying, all those things. So now it's like within the next 5 years, I want to hit the pavement harder than I've ever hit, and then potentially sell the company.
Are you having already like private equity knocking down your door?
Every single day. Every single day.
I hear they're hitting hard for electrical, plumbing, and HVAC.
I'm not kidding. I get at least a phone call every day and at least 1 to 2 emails every single day.
So then in 5 years for you, that means you're what, like 46, 47?
I will be 45.
Oh, because you're 40 right now. Okay, so then 5 years, 45, and potentially that exit, they come in, they take you out, and you're done.
Yeah.
Dude, that's legit.
Yeah, so right now because I hide so much money between, race cars and building my home and other things, and fixing up the commercial property. So I just want to really hit the pavement hard the next 2 years, and then the following 3 years, scale back on my pay, just what I need, and show company growth, and then potentially sell.
Yeah, because I've heard those PE guys are like, all they care about is just dissecting the books.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you spend 2, 3, 4, 5 years just making everything complete kosher, dialed in, and then payday.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, that's option. That's awesome. No, I mean, that was kind of it. I just wanted to bombard you unexpected.
Yeah, no worries, man.
I appreciate it. I'll let you get back to your tacos or whatever you're doing right now at a restaurant.
No, I'm at a steakhouse right now, just for myself.
It's 1:00 in the afternoon, and you're at a steakhouse right now?
Yes.
What steakhouse?
Spinning Yarn in Fremont.
Why not Alexander's?
Yes. No, that place is awesome.
All right, well, then next time I'm down, I'll take you out for a steak.
All right, brother. Thank you.
Thanks, man. Good to talk to you.
You too. Bye.
Later.